Hello. Welcome back to the WarDawg Trail podcast. This is episode 132. All right, tonight, a little different, right? Tonight, I am going to introduce to you a third additional host of Sergeant WarDawg TV and the WarDawg Trail podcast. All right, this gentleman will be in addition to uh, Marine AJ, also known as Grim 0311. We still have him when he's not busy. But so that gives us three total co-hosts. But when he's not able to be here, we have an international connection going down. All right. We have a connection between us in the US and our brothers in Australia, particularly this one who happened to have fought in the Afghanistan war. Feel me? All right. But before I bring him to the stage and introduce him as the new host, let's go over a few announcements. All right. Remember, you can find me every Saturday night live on DV Radio. That is Dysfunctional Veterans Radio at dvradio.net or dysfunctionalveterans.com. In addition to this podcast, we do have the web series, sergeantwardawgtv.com. My book, The WarDawg Trail, A Marine Rifleman's Struggle with War and PTSD, can now be found on Apple Books, Audible, and Amazon. And last but not least, my book actually won an award, if you can believe it, from bookauthority.org. The book won Best Iraq War Books of All Time. So grab your copy, listen to a copy, ebook, read a copy. However, but here my personal tale of 3 tours in Iraq from the very first day of the war as a Marine grunt. All right. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to the stage my new homie from across the seas. Welcome to that international connection with the one,
What's going on, gangsters?
the only, Mr. Tommo Williams. Welcome back to the show, boss.
How are you, brother? Thank you for the introduction and welcome me to the show. God, we're gonna have some fun.
You damn right. You damn right we are, man.
I, I,
Because this
I
time
think
we're going in a different direction than the last time. The last
that's
time
it. No,
we spoke as being psych ward, patients, and we talked about, going through the trauma and that sort of thing. Matter of fact, let me show the world real quick. This is what both Tommo and I represent. The psych ward gang. All right. And PWG, you will notice or hear me say that a lot, psych ward gang, because to me that represents my acknowledgement of mental health in the military community. Specifically, anytime I've ever been in a psych ward during any of my multiple visits, um, there's always another veteran there, and that's what makes it a group, a team, a gang, that wherever we go and happen to end up places like mental facilities, psych ward facilities, because of the myriad of different mental health conditions that we can have from war. Um, yeah, this is what we represent, man. I'm the sergeant of I'm the sergeant of the psych ward gang, and this is the official, the one and only. This is the true CEO. All right. This is the true CEO from
oh,
Australia. All right. Now, you tell them why we decided to come up with you being called the CEO.
well, I've done it just a couple more trips than you, haven't I, brother? What is it?
Oh, come
13
on.
now.
Oh, come, they
13.
yeah, break
Unlucky
down.
for some.
We've
Unlucky
never
for
seen
some.
this episode before.
Nah, mate. 13 trips. What's my first was 2012. My last was 2022, I think. 2020, end of 2022, end of 23, end of 23. Sorry, end of 2023. So a couple of years ago now. But yeah, mate, I wear that with pride. I wouldn't be where I am today without having to go in and face me demons in those places. Look, like you said, you always end up finding another veteran in there. I don't think there's been one, maybe one or two of my trips. There wasn't veterans in there. Um, One of them was the just after me, well, no, it was two. So there you go. There was two of them. The involuntary stay, after me drug-induced psychosis, then the psych ward or the private hospitals over Christmas, New Year's, and there's no one in there with real drug and alcohol problems. It was all just professionals. I was in there with doctors, fucking real estate moguls, daughters, fucking neuroscientists. God, there was a host of characters in there that time. But yeah, mate, it's like I said, I wouldn't be where I am today without it. Um, I've learnt. God, I was only just pulling through my going through my cupboard, and I've got like all my folders from all my different stay of all the different programs and everything that I've done over the time, man. And it was insane, but it was something that come up with that my last sort of stay before my psychosis, my last day after my psychosis and everything, at a rehab down in Byron Bay, was the spiritual side, man. And that was when I took off to Thailand and started to dive into well, the only place the thing is the only thing that's ever really made sense to me was Buddhism. Along with all my Christian beliefs growing up and everything. Like I believe there was, I was walking a path there for a while with trying to understand Buddha and Jesus. But getting into Thailand and then just spending the times in the temples over there, man, over for 18 months before my last trip over there. All of my teachings that resonated with me in the psych wards was all the mindfulness, and a lot of the Buddhist teachings are intertwined into a lot of the therapy models that we use over here in Australia. Any of the ones that I really resonated with anyway. So that was interesting, but putting it into practice, man. And then this last trip, man, was amazing. As you know, I've committed myself with all my suck yarn tattoos. Um, that's just the start. But I've committed with me Arjan. We're going to do me full bottle. I'm looking forward to going to Waikru, which is their Teachers' Day next March, I think it is. Going over there, and it's a big festival. So, but it was in there that 18 months in and out of Buddhism, with everything that I've studied and learnt with me philosophies and all the shit that I've done over the years, part of my healing process. I into started to understand more, especially out in rural Thailand, that the ancient beliefs with the Buddhism, the Thais are not in what we know in what I would consider Western Buddhism today. You start to go back and look at through all the spirits and the longer time, man, and it's been absolutely amazing, mate. You know what? The biggest thing ever is I had to give up beef after this. This is one of the promises that I made, man. I was like, oh, in Thailand, that's fucking pretty easy. But mate, coming home, it was the first night at a family dinner. It was beef sausages. It was as simple as beef sausages, and I was like, oh my fucking god, I can't eat these anymore. So that's been a bit of a struggle the last couple of weeks, eh? But mate, like going into their belief systems and like it's this as far as I'm concerned, it's like a spiritual armor to all the teachings and all the lessons I've learned over the time, and I still wouldn't. Could I say I couldn't even say that? Still couldn't even say that I'm full Buddhist, but that's what I suppose my journey, my travels, not only in the psych wards but around the world, have taught me through different cultures and everything like that. Just constantly trying to learn how different people do it to understand, I suppose, my own way I want to do it. I've always been a fucking rule breaker or someone that likes to bend the rules, just like a good lawyer or politician. Um, and yeah, it was, um, it's just piecing it all together, man. And I suppose what I hope you and I get to do over the coming months and years is learn and speak to more people that have been in and out of the wards as part of their service and what they've done to come out the other side, mate. Because I can almost guarantee you there's no one specific model. You can have a certain way of doing things, but at the end of the day, just like you did when you got into war, it doesn't matter how much fucking training you do until you're living it and breathing it, man. You're digging yourself out of the trenches. Um, and there's no one size fits all. It's sort of what I believe. There's plenty of things that help and give you a model, like basic training does. But until you're navigating in that with your set of circumstances, it's different for everyone, and you've just got to find a balance of what's right and what works for you. I wouldn't recommend being a fucking secret drug addict for a long time like I was. That didn't turn out too well. um, but mate, it's sharing the journey, and the biggest thing that I've learned, and I think the biggest thing that I've got out of wards, was the exposure therapy side of CBT and stuff like that. Exposing yourself
And
to your traumas was
when we
being
say
able to talk about
CBT,
it.
we're talking about
Cognitive
cognitive
behavioral
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 therapy, right?
therapy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just make sure
yeah,
everyone's on the same page.
yeah, yeah. That's I really took that, and especially being it always helped being a public speaker. That was how I was able to deal with my shit and talk, I suppose. Um, and not only that, like getting into after my first couple of years and then getting back up around the boys and getting into the veteran services side of things again. Um, just being able to be relatable just about to any of the boys' story or have a story to go with the boys' stories when they're down and struggling and need to have a chat. Yeah, I become
Yeah.
a bit of a leaning post over the years. And as, as much as it was good to be helping others, man. That was the way that I sort of dealt with my shit too, because we were just chatting it out. Um, I think we spoke about it on the last time. My first the thing that sunk it into me when I had the old Vietnam combat medic lean in and tell me I wish I spoke about this shit 40 years ago. Um, I think you've just got to find your platform where you can speak freely without fear of repercussions, and I think the military instills that in us. We've got to be quiet. We've got to keep that shit to ourselves. Um, and look how that treated all of us.
But obviously,
Especially
that's why we have this show, and that's why you're gonna be that's why you're now a part of it, because we now talk about that shit. We give the raw side, and now that we have you, we give an international side from of perspective of what it's like for an Australian soldier to go to Afghanistan, which I've never been in Afghanistan, with also a Marine who a U.S. Marine who went to Iraq 3 times. So that's our international group right there, from Florida in the U.S. to, was it
Brisbane,
Brisbane?
Australia.
To
Yeah,
Brisbane,
Brisbane.
Australia. Brisbane,
Brisbane.
Australia. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
My dark
Yeah,
green marine.
that's right. That's right. That's right. Let me see. Well,
Oh
like I
shit.
said, man. Yeah. Tommo's our new co-host. All right. he is gonna begin to develop his own brand entity organization to help veterans,
Man,
war veterans especially in Australia, with a mission way exceeding mine, but uh, similar to what I want to do with campdoghouse.org, where we house homeless veterans, or in his case, also Thailand
healing,
inhabitants.
Thailand healing, mate. I'd like to be able to give back to a country that has given me so much healing, and it is. There's something magical about that place, and I've travelled up and down it now. Um, the people, um, look, I wouldn't recommend going there if you wanted to just be English and get respect or anything like that. You've got to look at it. I'm reminding myself that I'm well travelled. And that every single one of us travels for a different reason. My thing for travel is always learning. Is culture. I've always learned, and I don't care what anyone says. For me, that's the one thing that I love to go and learn. I love to see how people do it differently, from third world countries to the richest countries in the world. Um, you learn something no matter what you do, and more importantly, you meet people. Um, and that's one thing that I know I'm good at is networking. I've got friends all around the bloody world, um, from some of the strangest places.
Some of
um,
which we hope to have on the show, right?
100%,
All right. Anyone that you
100%, bro.
find that you'd like to have on, bro. Until, because Tommo's, like I said, building his own brand. So soon, very soon, you will hear Tommo's own podcast, then his book,
Oh,
then
mate,
his
before we even get to
nonprofit.
mine, I'm doing. Yeah, mate. Look, and it's busy, man. That's what you're leading in for me, is, man. Look, nothing's, mate. For most people that know me, man, they've heard me tell a million different stories, a million different ways in the last couple of weeks, man. I'm trying this entrepreneurship. I got my fingers in every pie. Um, and the reason why I'm doing it is because it keeps me busy. I spent 12 years trying to spend time and work out my head. And look, it gave me a wealth of knowledge, but it didn't break me out of the same routines and cycles. To do that, I had to get busy. Um, and now it's everything. When I see the opportunity grow, I'm not aiming small anymore. I want big things. Because not only, the years have passed now, especially for you and I, brother, since we were on active duty, and it's at a time now where guys are rebuilding after they've dug themselves out of the trenches. We're coming out of the holes now, and I'd like to connect with it because there's a superpower within us. Not only did we go to war, but we've dug ourselves out of that, probably the hardest challenge you'll take on your life, and that's fighting yourself, fighting your own battles on the inside, and working out who you are. Um, for years I've been told I was crazy, and I refused to believe it. But now I've just embraced it, and I was like, this is my own crazy, and I fucking love it. So mate, there's plenty going on at the moment. Like, basically, what I'm trying to do, what I see, especially us engineers being good at, mate, is no, actually, that's a lot. Any end, but the world's leading. I don't have my book there. I think it was the Harvard Review's 2025 review on project management. And some of the biggest corporations around the world. They're losing their titles and everything at the moment, and they're just switching to project managers. That's your role. That's your title. And I don't know many better people equipped to operate in high stress environments under pressure than dudes that went to war. It's ingrained in us. Once we've come home and dealt with our shit, we are fucking unbelievable weapons, I believe. So what I'm doing here in Australia is trying to harness that and go into what I know is construction. And I'm working with some big developers and stuff at the moment, trying to structure get all the structures and everything right, get all the systems and everything in right, all the background stuff set up, so we're good to go, and then we can start hitting up for grants and tenders. What's everything I'm learning about business at the moment is use other people's money. So there's no better than using the governments, especially while they're fucking throwing it away at useless causes. I'd rather be harnessing that and giving back, because the biggest thing I've found in my recovery is purpose. So if we can get these guys into meaningful jobs, while there's plenty of construction to be done here in Queensland, we're 50,000 tradesmen a year short, to even be ready for this Olympic Games, plus the housing crisis we got going on. So when there's madness, we may as well capitalise it and move in there, get these guys into roles that we're back out. A bit of hard work is good for us guys. I honestly believe that, especially in a group of men that have all been through the same shit. I think it's a good venting place. It gives us combined purpose again, and it also gives us the ability to step up into higher roles now that we've all been through the years, and we're all. I honestly believe anyone that gets through basic training becomes a leader. So we've got those talents there. So I want to build up that there, and especially with the veteran housing crisis at the moment, I want to build a team. Anything that people are making money off for veterans, I want veterans building it. If they're making, the RSL, for instance, I want to find out the mob that they're using. I want to know, why aren't you employing veterans? If you guys are using the veterans' name to be making money, then the veterans should be in there being able to make a quid as well. That's the way I see it. That's the way fucking business is. And that's how I look at everything. I look at it as a business, because it keeps me brain beeping, and I try to think like the rich people and the politicians. So we've got that going on there, and then the biggest part of my thing is healing, and what I'm trying to create with me mum, and a couple of mates of mine that are in this space is a healing program, not only for veterans but their families as well. And I want to target coming out, or target guys coming out of psych wards, rehabs, and prisons, after they've got the western side of healing, and giving them a model, on a model over there, a model that they can use with their family, because I think that is a huge part of it. A lot of the Western model, I believe, is too heavy focused on healing the veteran and not the damage the veterans caused to get him to this point. And that's the affects the ones closest to them. So if we can create a healing model around that, and that's what we're working on at the moment. Um, I'd like to implement that over in Thailand. The freedom over there well, the biggest one for me is religious. It doesn't matter what faith you are. In Thailand's a faith we're all coming with. Well, the world's going to fucking chaos. And we're fighting over fucking East and Western religions again. Like always. No, not again. Just fucking repeating the fucking loop. Um, uh, I reckon in over there it's all accepted. It doesn't matter whether you're Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Catholic, fucking I don't know, fucking what's that flying spaghetti saucer? Fucking religion. Jedi. It doesn't matter. You can go over there and it's free. So it doesn't matter your belief system. None of it's forced. And that's the one thing that I love about the Buddhism teaching is there's no right and wrongs. It's about doing the right thing with pure intentions and trying to just be a fucking decent human being. Um, but not only that, man, we've got alternative therapies that are accepted over there, and I want everyone to be able to be open to what the world has to offer, not just what the government in your country allows. Um, Especially up in Chiang Mai, man. I only spent 4 days up there, but there's something. As soon as you drive over those mountains, you get into their place, so you can feel the energy up there, man. There's some serious healing to be done. Um, and not only that, man, there's some selfish purposes there. I've got to sustain a life. I just got married in Thailand, so half of my life now exists over there while I build my home. So I've got to find a way to be able to um, Incorporate everything I'm doing in both countries. So not only that, man, I've worked over there on Hellfire Pass, and that while I was in the army. There's plenty of government contracts over there that I could see purposeful initiatives going into in the veteran space over there. And the biggest one that I'm looking at the moment after my time with my missus and her temple, what we're trying to do there, and then where I get my tattoos from, at my Sakyant down in Nakhon Swan with Arjan Num and Pa Arjan. Um, they're rebuilding and restructuring their temple, so I'm trying to create pathways there where I can help raise um, funds for the Thais to restore their places of worship. Um, and hopefully with that connection and grow is obviously incorporate some healing opportunities, that once these guys finish these programs, they've got something to come back to. They come and spend a month over at the temple, let's say, and then give a month of their time. They'll be fed and housed at the temple. They'll be taught the chilled way that they do it over there, not only the chilled way, um, in a place where all your demons are accepted. And that was the difference I saw got getting out of the temples, out of Bangkok, and that everything's accepted. Your demons and everything that you're judged of the person you are. You walk in there with good intentions, mate. You're treated like family every time. And that's, I can't remember the book. It was the book I think is called The Tribe or Tribe. And it was about a guy that's studying tribes throughout history, and how we used to heal as a tribe going back to ancient times. The warriors would come home and share their stories and heal as a family. I think that needs to happen. Just like, mate, a lot of a lot of my findings after 10 years in and out of the Western system, I had to go back. I had to search for more answers. And I had to go back before we started doing it with the pharmaceutical companies and modern psychology. I wanted to go back and understand how the people that lived off the land did it for thousands and thousands of years. Um, so there's plenty there to explore, mate, and I know a lot of it's popping up over there with you guys. Same with it is within healing models and stuff like that. And I'd love to explore and get some guys, some professionals over there with some of the guys that are doing some of the work, the alternative therapies over here in Oz. I think we're at the stage now where they've trialed MDMA assisted therapy, as well as they're looking at going onto the psilocybin. And I think, well, put it this way, while I was a secret drug addict and a little shaman of pharmaceuticals and you're not so good drugs. That was the one way I always helped my mates, all my veteran mates and stuff like that when they needed a chat, mate. I'd get them on the piss, their drugs of choice, and then I'd get them chatting. It opens you up, and when you with people that like to chat and explore those things, it's pretty easy to get to know them. And like I said, 10 years in and out of psychiatric wards, I reckon I'm as good as a psychologist and a psychiatrist.
Absolutely.
So man, there's that. Yeah, obviously, I'm flying my suckyard tattooist, and one of his students out. They're coming out to do some. I'm sponsoring my gym's next fan to fighter, like the similar to the one that I fought in last November. He's going to come out and give free succulent tattoos to the fighters, and it's going to be an opportunity for us to raise some funds for those guys at the temple there. So, well, I like to help people with good causes, I suppose, and it's not just veteran causes now. I believe, like I said in the rehab, they said find the spiritual side. I found that path for me. I found a path that's accepting of me. Not only that, they're teaching me all their ways, the old ways, but also with trying to understand mine. And we're getting to understand each other's. It's beautiful, man. They want to learn English as much as I want to learn Thai. And not being able to speak to the language and having to break things down for Google Translate and stuff like that, man. I don't know. Um, it's probably what some of us guys need is a good slowdown, and that's what those guys harp on about. So, Look, I'm a million mile an hour, but these guys understand that. They understand the way that I operate. And look, we'll get into it over the time comes, and I'll go into the deeping side of it. I know you and I touched base a couple of times. Well, probably more than a couple of times while I was over there, brother. And you probably bear witness to the spiritual transformation that was happening at the time. And I want to explore more of that shit. I want to explore guys coming out the other side. What helped them? What was the turning point for them that finally flipped the switch from victim um to thriving again, I suppose. As well as getting on this podcast with you, DV Radio, and starting my own.
Right on, right on, right on. Hey, so that's like I said, that's why I wanted to bring him on to the show, bring him on to the team, Sergeant
I
WarDawg
fucking
TV, the
love.
web series.
I love that we don't have you and I don't have to worry about this.
Oh yeah, man, anything goes. Everybody knows I'm raw, like any other veteran. I'm raw and triple X rated, man. I mean,
Mm.
I'm rough around the edges. What do you expect? I've been living in the woods and deserts since I was a teenager, so we're all like, all of us have a little caveman, no shave, don't give a fuck in us, and welcome to the show
That's
where
it,
you can be
brother.
that way because you've already
And
put in your work and made sacrifices. All right.
that's it, bro. But now, man, it's like the world's going crazy, and I don't know if anyone else knows about the military industrial complex that we've been in now for fucking how many thousands of years. Um, but when there's crisis, there's an opportunity to make money, and most of us guys are out the other side of it now. We know how the fucking system works. Yeah, I've spent the last 2 years dedicating myself to finally working out how these guys play at the top level. And I reckon it's about our time to take our seat. We educate ourselves enough. We're a force. We're a force to be reckoned with. We've got too much history, with too much knowledge now, especially if we start sharing it and looking out and reconnecting with our tribe. Um, uh, I'm sure there's not a veteran sitting at home at the moment, brother, that isn't going, chaos. The world is in chaos, and I suddenly start to feel calm. I don't know about you, brother. Are you like that? You like that? I don't know what it was like for you. Started COVID, man. The whole world went fucking chaotic, and I felt a sense of fucking oi. I,
Yeah.
I'm no longer the
Yeah.
crazy one. The rest of the fucking world is crazy. I'm in my fucking prime.
Right on. Right on. Right on, bro. Hey,
Uh,
I want to talk to you about a couple things as they relate to us, man, moving forward. Okay. Uh, as you
Shoot,
said,
brother.
as you said, we have this show is always open to veteran trauma and veteran healing, but we also have a new phase. All right, that I'm pulling out on veteran success stories. Right, calling it military
Oh,
ballers.
I
All
love
right.
it. That's gangster.
Now, the way I feel around the world, we all have made sacrifices that might not have won medals, been noticed by the right, superior personnel and whatnot. That's fine. In our eyes, if we bring you on the show because we feel you still qualify in one way or another as a military baller to us, to these two war veterans from both the US and Australia who served in both Afghanistan and Iraq, then we're giving you that combat veteran stamp of approval, man. But hey, military ballers, man, is also segment on veteran success. All right, success stories, times when individuals, might have fallen, fallen again, fallen again because of
And I
being,
want
you
to,
know,
can I add something there, brother? Can I add something there? And you don't even have to be completely one, man. I'm nowhere near one yet. I'm not sitting back like Andy Frisella getting paid for this shit. This is it. We're all just balling. Um, mate, if you had any win, if you've been knocked down and come back and had a win, let's celebrate them all. Let's celebrate them all. Especially, especially for the guys that have been in the ward, you've bounced back after it. Something that you've learnt that's it's helped make your life a little bit better. That might just might help someone else. Someone else, they might just fall upon a little snippet of something that you've shared, and it's help inspire them for their next win. Because one thing I've learned over the last 15 years, it never stops. The falls never stop. It's just how you pick yourself up. And every time you pick yourself up, that's a win. And it it's the losses. It's the losses that we face to get to those wins, I believe, is what builds us. So shout out. Australia, America, doesn't matter, anywhere around the world, if you're a veteran from any country, give us a shout out.
All right. Salute. So as I said,
Always.
as I said, when you hear us also telling you about veteran success stories after serving either in the military or in war from around the world, we will highlight them, their stories, and their sacrifices, especially those, as he said, who have turned around from any type of past turmoil in their life, especially due to the military, and are now succeeding and surviving in life. So be on the lookout for the military baller section coming on the WarDawg Trail podcast with myself and Tommo, our Australian Afghanistan war vet. All right, Tommo, I want to talk to you about a couple things that only you and I can talk about as
Shoot, my brother, shoot.
war vets that I wanted to ask you about before, but we have time. So talk to me about the mindset that a veteran will always have, and it, saved their life in war, about looking at people as targets. Talk about that. Because for good, bad, however, we were all paid and assigned and had to, do that. It's part of the gig, right? Part of the job.
That's it. Um, what's the first thing that points to my head, comes to my head? I suppose when I stopped looking at women and children as women as children, and they'd become targets. That
Right.
was after the 11-year-old kid tried to blow us up. I was on the end of a pull cord. Um, the I still, you know what? Just thinking about it, then it still hasn't real. It might have changed, but I suppose you don't lose it. It just alters a little bit the way that you perceive it. You know that for a long time, man. That was hard. The women and children side of things hard, as you know. That's just from our upbringings, our cultural and societal beliefs. That's the shit that we had to see over there. It doesn't resonate with what we do back home. The shit that we had to let go of and couldn't do anything about. That sort of shit, man. But I suppose it goes for me trying to get into the psychology behind it, that fight response when it's you're honed in onto that fight. So we no longer perceive threats as an opportunity to run. Every time we perceive a threat, we automatically switch to fight mode. And when we switch to fight mode with our military, down to our basic military training, is turn and face the objective and fight through. You know, your basic ambush drill. Um, and what do you do as a soldier when that fight mode's activated? You're looking for a target, and that could be, PTSD flashbacks going through a shopping center or driving down a road and seeing something out the side of a culvert or going through a VP or something like that to for what else could we say? Um mate, someone, oh, mate, the look, the face of, the face of fear in my children, probably a big one, that reminds me, of uh, is an instant sort of flashback for me, mate. And it took me for a long time to get out of that anger mode, and recognize what was happening, to not seeing my own children as targets. I'm not kicking in a door and they're screaming at me anymore. They're not, don't want to eat their food. um, and I suppose, it's a hard thing to switch off, man. I suppose for me, the target side of things and how I had to stop, that's where I was going with the other one. It's as simple as those things, to going into road rage, mate. Seeing this dude on the road that cut you off. He's now your target. Um, that's the anger response that the military trains us to use to mask the rest of our emotions. And once you get out of the big tip of that iceberg, that anger phase, and you look at all the other emotions that are dwelling underneath. Um, fear, uh, fear's a big one. That initiates that response for us. And it comes back into, for me, mate, over the years, watching it and witnessing with all the stuff. Not only I've done work with myself, working with other veterans, in the way we talk. The way that we use our words, when we're threatened, can almost, we channel in our words towards a target. Um, so seeing, for me, the big turning point was recognize. Well, I mean, the biggest thing is acknowledgement to begin with, and switch it, and understanding that for however long we were deployed, that survival mechanism that kept us alive is now causing us to walk through the shopping center and have panic attacks. Um, um, and for me, man, it was bringing down the aggression, and how I did that was channeling it. I wouldn't say bringing it down, because well, I don't know what it's like for you, but that's, well, I started anger fucking management in high school. That didn't work too well. And it didn't work too well. It's probably one of the only therapy models that I fucking despise. Why are you angry? Because I'm fucking angry.
Hey, but check it out.
um,
Check it out.
it's
That's why, personally, amongst the little classes I want to be teaching at Camp Doghouse, I started what I call war anger management. Not just anger management, but war anger management, because it's different when you have been paid and trained and done violent things for that.
it is 100%, and you can't compare it. You can't compare it to I don't this mate. I've tried to get it in the cage, but there's a referee there. There's people watching. There's phones out. You're not in the heat of battle of. You're not in the heat of survival. It's kill or be killed. And there it's there's you have to reach a certain level of aggression to be able to get through those periods. And I think it goes back to something I was just saying a little bit earlier, mate, is that anger is what's kept us alive. That's that anger is what got us through some of the most difficult situations we're ever going to experience in our lives. um and it's also built into the restructuring, the rewiring of our brains when we go through basic training. Um, so um sorry, mate. My ears fucking still playing up. What was I just
Hey,
saying?
in regards to your ears, explain for
Yep.
Australian and American veterans what's going on with your ears. They know I have hearing aids from the war and firing automatic weapons. Talk about what's going on with yours.
Oh man, I just got fuck. I've just spent too long in the warmth. Come home from Thailand and into the cold and got this fucking terrible chest and ear infection. But it's been blocked now for 2 weeks. I haven't been able to hear it, and it's pissing it's pissing me off because everything's echoey. Everything gets echoey. But with all the infection and that, I've got a Chiari malformation, where the cerebral tonsils
I've heard of it.
dangle down into my spinal column. Now I don't know I don't know if that was they reckon it's either from a head force trauma, a blunt force trauma to the head, like bang big knocks or bangs to the head. Um, and I've had a fair few of them. But this one they reckon's from birth. And it's when it's playing up, like when the affection with me cough and everything like that, it all gets swollen, the muscles get tight around there, man. It just sends fucking chronic migraines. Everything goes blurry. It's only for about 30 seconds, but it's it's intense. It's intense. It feels like IEDs are going off in the back of my head, like behind my eyelids. Um, and this has just made everything play up. But no, man, it's like I was telling you. Um, Everyone I know that went to war's gone deaf, and for some fucked up reason, my hearing's gotten better.
As
They can't work out with that's whether it's the years of stimulant abuse, or the hyper arousal, man, because that's the biggest part of my PTSD that um, I still manage today. You know, I conquer it, get over it, live with it, however you want to deal with it. However, it's there, it's there, and it's Look, I believe that I'm going to be able to get to a point where I can rewrite my brain enough, um, that it's not going to affect me like it does anymore. But the hyper arousal thing, I don't know. If that's a thing with me ADHD either too. That it makes it harder. But soon as soon as I'm shocked, soon as I'm passionate about something, and that thing's triggered, man, I'm off. I'm off like 100 mile an hour. Um, uh, it's uh, it's gotten a lot better now because it only lasts a few seconds compared to days and weeks like it did at the start. I can bring myself back, but it's like, oh mate, we're now going back to what you're talking about, targets. It's the constantly going out and looking for danger before it happens is the thing. And I don't know whether, and that's anyone that's served on the front line that has faced that feeling, I suppose, will understand it, man. Whereas you're trying to pick the thread up before it gets there. You understand what I'm saying?
course I do, bro. This is me you talking to. Of course, man.
Yeah,
Of course.
it's and mine's obviously switched. I'm not looking for IEDs anymore. Like the biggest thing for a long time for me, man, was the kids. Like anytime I took my kids out for years, like I hope one day they fully can understand how stressful it used to be for just to leave the house because of all the bad things that I could imagine happening to them as I left at wherever we were, and then all I wanted to do was get home because I wanted to have a panic attack because I couldn't deal with any more scenarios in my head, basically. Um, and it's as much as that's lessened now, like I've picked it up even in my thought patterns now, where it just goes into that negative. I'm pulling apart, like as I'm down, like I'd be going for a very flat period. It's been a rough sort of month, man. Like I had a lot of shit going. A lot of shit was fucking kicking off. I'd brought up a lot of people around me, and we're all doing good things, man. And like always, man, um, some people couldn't keep up with me, and I completely understand that. And other people just completely fuck me over, like it always is, man. But I refuse, mate, I've spent too many times. I'm not doing. Look, I will never say that I'm not doing the psych ward again because that place is a place of My kids used to call it Dad's holiday when they were younger. Dad's going on holiday. And it sort of was, man. It was a holiday from the stress of having to worry about anyone else in the world other than myself. Because my problem as a healer, a giver, I just want to help people. That's what makes me feel good, and um, it's also incorporates into being able to share the knowledge I've accumulated over the years. It was hard earned, but it's not. It's something that we should all have access to. And me being me, I believe I can deliver it. Doesn't matter whether you're the prime minister or you're a junkie on the streets. I can talk to you at your level because I've sat with all these people and learnt through their stories and their struggles over the years in and out of these wards. Um, you know, go anywhere if you want to learn. There's something to learn. And like brother, in these places when people are at their lowest and they're trying to get help, um, you have some amazing conversations.
I want to talk about another part of this that I feel is real as fuck, but I think you and I both need to address because I feel it's a reality for you and I. Um, as much as we both have gone to hospitals to help keep us alive when we didn't want to be alive, it is a hard thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard thing that people don't realize that even at this moment, even tomorrow, next week, next year, 10 years, you are constantly fighting day by day, not just a moment of unaliving yourself, but you got to fight that battle the rest of your life, the whole time. So, my thing is, bro, is that as much as the reality of it is, as much as we uh, try to advocate for everyone to hold on, to not unalive themselves, that sort of thing. Yeah, we obviously could be hypocrites and get to a point on our own that hey, we will fight to never get to. All right, but we both could get sick enough that hey, we feel like we need to check out or unalive, and
That's it, brother.
that's just the reality of it. It's just not saying it's good or bad, but to me, I just feel it's a sickness. It's my personal feeling is it's a sickness of the pain of facing your own life or your own pains. And just like we all seek remedies when you're in pain, for some that's the only remedy. And for I've been in that spot, and I'm sure you have as well, Tommo. When all your solutions,
Several times.
all your solutions keep coming back to that, keep coming back
Yep.
to that answers it all. Actually, that answers everything. Nothing else really
Yep.
works but that. That's what is make it happen. And
Yep.
for a military guy, we have to be careful because once we hear or think, hey, lock and load, that's it. That's it. That's it. The second we lock on, hey, there's a gun, it's here, I'm feeling this way. The second we hear or think, lock and load, get it, lock and
Yep.
load, hit it. If we have that
It's
mindset, we would do it. You know what I'm talking about.
100%, bro. The like I think we were touching on before is that when everyone else sees chaos, that's when our instincts kick in. It's crazy, man. It's like you think about it. You know, we have thrived in the most chaotic of circumstances. Really, life can throw at you at life or death on a battlefield, and look, not all of us thrived, but for a lot of us in those situations, you thrive because there's no other there's no other option. There's no other option, and Mate, where was it? There was a part of me therapy there. It's an identity that we hold on to dearly. And I hope that as we get time on that changes, bro. We no longer look at it as a sickness. We've got to I believe we've got to start changing the terminology we put on it, because once harnessed, brother, I believe it's a superpower, because not only have we fought ourselves through war, we've fought ourselves through the biggest battle anyone is going to go through personally, and that's up here. And that's
Yeah.
learning thing. It's at the end of the day, it's discovering ourselves and where our purpose fits. And for a lot of us, man, it's like where I was touching on earlier, is redefining that purpose. Is we've got to have purpose again. And for any of us that have missed, the biggest thing that I miss, I'm sure that you miss, I think, is the camaraderie we shared on the battlefield. And now we're not going to be able to, oh, look, in the world that we're in at the moment, we probably could create some battlefields to go fight on together. But we're too old and broken for that shit now. It's the younger generation's turn. Um, Now it's time for us to start thriving again in a world that's chaotic. And if we harness the collaborative efforts of guys that have come out the other side, um, we're a force to be reckoned with. We could create our own ecosystem, really, if we thought about it. And we could be self-sufficient because it's service. We're giving back to one another, and that's where us guys thrive. That's where we find the thing, and it goes back to that word purpose again. In those things, and we can change the term from sickness is turning that, like I keep saying, man. And as you said it to me, it's why do you keep giggling? It's just like if we embrace the darkness of all of this, like we do, and we're all capable of it because we've all got sick sense of fucking humor. It's what got us through those dark days on the fucking battlefields, man, in our patrol bases, in our hoochies, with our brothers in arms. It's that dark sense of humor. And if
Yeah,
you can
that
apply
dark
that to
sense of
yourself
humor.
personally, bro, man, is we switch the narrative, we switch the mindset. And, you've seen my method. I shopped, I shift, I change, but it's every time I speak, man, I plant seeds. I plant seeds in other people's heads. And if we can all start growing collaboratively, sharing ideas out the other side and start focusing on, like you said before, on the success side of it, um, we start celebrating all the hardships that we had to go through to get to where we are. And that's the building blocks, bro. They're all the foundations. They're the victories, after thing at the moment, like what was I bring up one of the one of the speeches I did at one of the schools back, oh fuck, 2016 or something like that. And it was, does the war really end for us, mate? You can look at the veterans that we've got left, well, the few that we've got left from World War II. You look at the Vietnam veteran era, mate, they're still proud of their service regardless of anything that's happened over the years, and they're still holding on. We won't lose that shit because it's ingrained in our identity. I think it's the biggest thing that, one of the big problems over here, man, is learning how to transition that and identify the soldier identity. You and I will discuss about it later. It'll be someone that I'd like to get on to the show. One of my psychologists. She's just finished her PhD on a transitioning from the army, and her program was absolutely amazing, man. And it's learning how to not let go of the soldier identity, but see where it rules in each part of your life and how we can adapt it while we move back into the civilian world. And then what I hope to do on the other side of that is how we use those skills that we've then learned with our military skills to turn us into fucking businessmen. And then we're all thriving. Not only that, we're leaving legacies for our fucking children, not just a set of medals.
Damn right. Damn right. I like that. I like that. So if you don't mind, let us know specifically what's going to be going on in the future with you. You've mentioned some things, but for those in the US as well as Australia, we know we have some big things coming from Tommo Williams. the Australian veteran of the Afghan War. All right. From like I said earlier, he's gonna have a podcast soon, book soon, and if you don't mind, you explained it earlier as you said, but give us the whole idea of you know
Mate, break it down.
Tommo.
Let's just simplify it, mate. I'm finding avenues for veterans to find their feet again through purpose. And that's going to be through multiple means and opening up avenues and networks for these guys to start chasing a life outside of service. So, and why I'm doing that, mate, in the charitable side of things, working in Thailand, helping raising funds for these temples. I'm putting together a program for veterans and their families. For some collaborative healing on the other side of their stays in psychiatric wards, prisons, and rehabs.
Nice, nice. Now, everyone knows I've been working on Camp Doghouse Dam for 6 years now. I mean, I've had the land, but just can't get it pushing. You have any kind of timeline when you think your organizations and establishments, might be up and servicing people in Australia and
Mates,
Thailand?
the 12 months I've given myself a deadline to have things launched, brother. um Mate, the size that I'm going, it's going to be a huge collaborative effort, mate. So the last couple of months has been huge networking, tying together the system instructions that are going to support the growth that we hope to see from it. But mate, what we've got going on with the veteran build space, and me mate, business partner, mentor Michael Shakel, mate. We want to step into the veteran housing crises for their emergency accommodation, and we want all this stuff built by veterans. So there's just opportunities, mate, and then not only that, mate, just mentoring guys about following their dreams, mate. One thing I'm fucking brilliant at is is um is taking an idea and turning it into something. And giving it a bit of traction. So I love creating new stuff. My biggest thing with the ADH brain is sticking to one thing at a time. So I've decided to cut back on the 16, 17, whatever projects I'm going, and compartmentalize and build again, mate, like I do with my ADHD, with everything that I've got going on in my life between Thailand and Australia. So just go with it, man. And timelines for me now, man. The one thing I picked up, like I didn't touch on it. The start of my Thailand trip was in the temples. I was learning Dharma. I went and spent 5 days in silence with the monks and the nuns. Um, and then down to an English speaking a monk down an 8 hour drive. Man, it was crazy, the start of that. um I forgot what I was talking about.
You were talking about going up with the monks and not being able to speak during that
Oh yeah,
period.
why was I telling you about that? Fucking
Okay, I can't give you that part. Hey, we
hell. That
both
doesn't
had
matter, bro.
traumatic brain injuries, so don't have.
Yeah,
We
bro.
both have war veteran memories, so what the fuck?
But way
See,
too
short
close,
term.
way too close to many explosions. And
Yeah.
look, I like to get punched and kicked in the head for a living as well, so that doesn't help.
Wait, they don't understand that. So again, tell them one more time what you do. Was it professionally or just a hobby?
No, no, fuck no, brother. Look, it was probably a time when I was 31, 32, where I was, that's probably what I wanted to do, and I was training like I was. But Muay Thai, brother, that's been a huge part of my healing. I don't think I got there with the aggression side of things. Somewhere where I've channeled it now is Muay Thai, the art of 8 limbs, the tradition, the national sport of Thailand, and that's where it originates. Um, and yeah, mate, it's kickboxing with knees and elbows. Um, and I started in end of October 2019, I think. I had my first proper fight in November last year against Ezra, the Kiwi. He was 108 kilos. I was weighing about 88. He was a big bastard. But after 4 years of training, missing out on a heap of fight from broken bones and shit like that, I I finally jumped the ring, man. It was fucking sick. So I do have one fight left in me, but it's going to be in Thailand. So that'll be in the next few years. I've got to do it before I'm 42. Um, but I'll only ever jump the ropes one more time, and that'll be to fight a Thai in Thailand. But mate, it's probably not the best, mate. But my psychologist always told me it was my own form of self harm because I like to get in there and fight big Islander dudes. So, it is what it is. It's better than going knocking
Hey,
out fuckheads on
people
the
don't
street.
people don't believe me when I tell them for some reason. It's not even a big. It's not a little man's complex or none of that shit. It's just we like taking down big guys, bigger guys. It feels better. It
Well,
it lets you know
my
you're
always
doing the right
thing.
moves.
Right, my thing, and it goes back to childhood trauma from all the bullying I copped as a kid, man. Like, if I was going to get beaten up, I wanted it to be by the biggest bloke because I couldn't fight. So I just learned how to take a flogging from a big guy. Um, but it's a psychology thing, man. When you've got a 140 kilo Kiwi throwing punches at you and you're wearing them and you're still standing, look, I'm not saying he's throwing them full wing, but when you're getting punched by a 140 kilo dude and you're lasting rounds with him, it helps with the confidence. Especially when you think, man, I look forward to actually fighting someone my own size because the fear factor going in will be 10 times less than what it is jumping the ropes with a dude that's fucking 20 kilos heavier than you. And yeah, man, like there's a thing. Look, I it's yeah, I like the feeling of getting punched in the face.
Hey, that's not
It wakes me up.
uncommon for war veterans.
It makes me feel alive, man. That's where I
I
get my
think yeah,
adrenaline
that's
hit, man.
a lot of
It's
us war veterans. They say I need to feel the pain to let me know I'm alive.
Yeah, and man, it's just the closest thing I'm gonna get to war. Is in a ring and just throwing down with some motherfucker. So, yeah, look, there's that part of it that heals it up, man. But it's been a big part of it, man. It's something that I'll be incorporating massively into my programs while we're in Thailand. I'm trying to make some connections there with the connections that I've built over the last few months. So, um, yeah, man, it's watch this space. It's watch this space. We're just gonna grow, man. Like I said, podcast. I've got no idea what I'm doing. Like I said, I've tried to set up make myself look a little bit professional this time. But we're just gonna roll with it, brother, man. We're healing every day. Every day we wake up, we're learning, we're healing. We're gonna have shit days, we're gonna have bad days, but we're just gonna keep kicking on and find something to laugh at when it's fucking really shit, just like we did overseas.
Right on, right on. All right. Let everyone know where they can find you online or on social media.
Um, Tom Williams on Facebook. I'll send through all the links, but Tom Williams on Facebook, Tommo W88 at Instagram. You got TAE Construction Industries. What was I should have shared with you my linked tree one that's got it all on there. But guys, I'm still establishing everything. Look, I'm paying for it all, and I've got it all there. It's just setting up the systems and structures in place to the thing, mate. I was joking when I went and bought this microphone today. I was sitting in the sitting at the shop with the dude, and I was like, man, I can't believe I'm in a section that says content creator. Like I remember sitting there slagging all this shit off for years, going, what the fuck? And now I have to do it to help build the brand. So, you know, I'm catching up, young bucks. I'm coming for you. We're coming for you. Bunch of crazy war veterans.
Right on,
The Psych Ward gang
right on.
represent.
That's what. That's right. Let them know.
We'll get, brother.
Yeah, let me let you.
We've got plenty of episodes to come, and we'll get more prepared for this one. Thank you for sitting up. What time is it there now? Tell everyone what time it is you're recording. This is how we hustle.
It's 3:09 in the morning in Florida, in the U.S. What time is it where you are?
It is 17:09 on the 11th of September. Holy shit! It's the 11th of September. Fucking
Yeah.
hell,
Oh yeah. Shit.
man.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. It's going to be a day, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, can you see I have your QR code up?
Legend, brother. That should link you into all my socials and that. We'll get up there. Me and my Sergeant WarDawg, he'll show me how to start clipping and editing so we can get this shit popping on the socials. Anyone that's watching, a like, a share, a follow, all that good shit that we have to do now. Fuck. Yeah. And let's just spread the word, spread the message, and let's work our world. Let's distract ourselves from a fucking shit world and see how we can fucking thrive in it.
All right. Say no more. Say no more. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 132 of the WarDawg Trail, where we brought back and introduced you to Mr. Tommo Williams, an Australian war veteran who fought in the Afghan War, who is now my new co-host, man, on
Bam!
Sergeant WarDawg TV and the
Bam!
WarDawg Trail podcast. All right, we have we have myself, we have AJ Grimo 311, and now the man from down under, the war vet from down under, the CEO of the Psych Ward Gang himself. All right, Mr. Tommo Williams. You had any final words for us, Tommo?
Nah, bro. Let's just keep it real. Thank you for finally getting there now that I'm home from Thailand. This is going to I'm gonna have to learn how to be mobile while I float between here and Thailand over the next 12 months. But at least we're gonna have some gorgeous places to show you guys some scenery and some clips and shit from. And I don't get to shoot weapons like you fuckers do in Australia, but I can do that in Thailand. So yeah, mate, I'm an engineer, so I was never fascinated with weapons. But watching all your previous shows, brother, and you and your fucking gun nut shit, it's time to get me educated, especially with the wars going on around the world. Get the man down under all fucking equipped up, bro. We'll find out what I can shoot over in Thailand, and we'll see if I can take us to a range over there for reviewing.
What do the Thais use? Like AKs from like Russian made
No.
AKs?
What
What are
did
we talking about?
I should know this. I was just over there.
Chinese made AKs?
No. Man, they're funded by the Americans. Um,
Oh no
yeah,
shit.
the
Also
ties
M16s,
are on our ties
A4s.
are on our sides, man. They're a democratic country.
Shit. I'm old school. M4s, excuse
Yeah,
me.
M4s. No, they wouldn't be still rocking the M16s. They were rocking M16s when I was
That's
over there, brother. Um,
what I'm talking about. My
yeah,
bad.
yeah. Um, uh, I don't know, but we'll find out. We'll find out. I've got some connections into the Navy and that over there, so who knows? I'll see if I can find some tie speakers. He knows. See if we can get a close up and get some interviews with the guys that are fighting on the border up in of Cambodia at the moment. Reach out to some Thai veterans coming back from that conflict.
Right on, bro. Right on. Hey, we got great things in store. You met him, our new co-host on Sergeant WarDawg TV, as well as the WarDawg Trail podcast. Tommo, Australian war veteran in the Afghan War. Welcome to the team.
Thank you,
Welcome
brother.
to the
Looking
family,
forward
bro.
to it. Looking forward to chopping it up, brother. Looking forward to chopping it up.
All right. Thanks for coming on, boss. Salute.
Salute, brother.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 132 of the WarDawg Trail podcast. As always, remember you can catch the web series, Sergeant WarDawg TV, all right, as well as obviously this podcast, the WarDawg Trail, which is also the name of my book. Enjoy yourself. Hope you enjoyed the show. Be on the lookout for Tommo joining me and the team for the next episodes. Salute.
Watch you stay to heavens to always me. Keeping your voices down and screaming to be free. You're not alive if you're hiding. I'm gonna risk it all. I'm taking this one shot to be free. Hiding your face from the light 'cause you're too afraid to see. I'm not a part of the common belief. Throw it against the wall.